The views and opinions expressed in Media Litter Sandwich do not reflect on the views of the network, station, studio, website, sponsors, guests, hosts themselves, anyone or anything else associated or even not associated with this podcast. Maybe not even the person that said them. In other words, do your own research and do not sue anyone over what is said on this show.
Welcome to Media Litter Sandwich. I'm Toden from Toden.com, MediaLitterSandwich.com. We're recording at the Foundation Studio at the Foundation Hotel in downtown Detroit, just like across the street from Cobo Hall, where there will be another Comic-Con there, I think next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With me is Andre Batts.
Thanks for having me.
Go ahead, and you were on the show before. Loved having you before.
Right.
Go tell us what do you do? What you up to now?
Well, basically, since the last we've talked, I've done several shows. I've done, I think, the Motor City Black Age of Comics.
Oh, for those that don't know, comic book writer, comic book artist,
comic book writer of Dreadlocks. I've been doing Dreadlocks since '96. Actually, prior to '96, I was developing Dreadlocks in the early '90s, and finally came out with a book in '95, '96. Also, I have Black Watch, which is a group that I've been working on for a while now. Right here, Black Watch.
Video version's different than the audio version.
Right. And then we have the latest Dreadlocks books for those that may want to.
I'm always impressed by your covers. Every time I see your covers, I'm just so impressed by them.
Thank you. And, I've been working on these for a minute. And as a matter of fact, I just finished up the follow-up Dreadlocks book that I'm getting ready to send for print real soon.
Nice.
And I just started, doing the Motor City Black Age of Comics, which I'm the coordinator of that. As a matter of fact, it's going to be June 13th, 2020. I skipped a whole year.
Hey, that means people have to put it in their calendars now.
Exactly.
You've always been good at coming up with dates really early on. Yeah,
Yes.
I think you've always been good with it. I think one time I was like, okay, I can't do anything on the date, can't do anything on the date, and then something else came up that I had zero control over. I felt so bad because it's been on my calendar for 9 months, a year, whatever.
Right.
It's like, how does this happen? Forgot. I think it was like a wedding or something. It was like that's the only thing that can totally throw it off.
Yes. Well, I've been doing the fall the past 4 years. So I decided I wanted to do a spring summer date because it'll bring more people out, number one.
Right. That's hard to find a date because that's when a lot of other shows do it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead and continue, but I do want to ask you about that.
Yes, which it takes me in what I'm getting ready to get into. This date in particular didn't really it fell in line with any other show that was going on. So I felt that it was perfect. I had to set the date a year and a half in advance because the location, the venue, they're usually booked up like right away. If you're trying to set up something a year in advance, you may not even get the date that you want.
And where's the venue this time?
It's at Northwest Activity Center in Detroit it's at 18100 Myers Avenue.
Okay. Yeah, we were there we were talking there a while back at I want to say it was like an anime con.
Technicon.
Technicon, that's it. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, that was a fun con.
Technicon is one of my favorite. As a matter of fact, it's going to be there, I think, this September coming up.
Okay, I'll have to look at the dates again. That was fun. It was more of a night con. I think it started at like 8, 9 o'clock or something,
It starts at 7 p.m. and it ends maybe 2 in the morning.
It's a party. It's a good one though. It's kind
of like Detroit Comics Party. Well, they did that 2 years. Did it 1 year at City Club.
City Club, yeah.
Right. That was
Crazy
a good
Mark
one.
was promoting it. I believe he was.
And he might have hosted it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was a good show. Like I say, Technicon. These are the shows that actually I've done since the last interview that you and I had. Also, went out of state. I did Kim Fest in New Jersey, and I did a Black Comic Book Festival in New York. Kim Fest was in New Jersey, which I do that. That's a show that's put together by a brother named Nasi Gifted. New York, the show out there is so huge. It's almost on the lines of the Michigan Comic Con here. That's how crowded it is.
Wow, nice. I haven't been to the Michigan Comic Con before. Last year was our first year. I'm very much looking forward to it this year.
It's a real good show.
I know the other. I've heard nothing but amazing things about the other shows they put on. I actually had a movie play in one of the shows they put on, I believe in Florida. I think they're the same people that do the Tampa Comic Con. And they were amazing. That was years ago, but they were amazing. Contacted me for that and then asked for the same movie for another Comic Con. Like, nothing but respect for these organizers. And yeah, I'm totally looking forward to going this year.
Yeah,
and I'll actually, right at, I think at 5 o'clock, I don't know what the show runs to, but I know at 5 o'clock I have the studio booked. So I could just walk across the street and come over here.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of people coming through here, as a matter of fact. I'll be there that weekend. I have a booth for that weekend, so I'm getting all set up and ready for that. And I can't wait. I really love doing a whole lot of shows right here in Michigan. Yeah. You know, that way I don't have to, come out of travel expenses. But, the shows are really dynamic. Especially that when I did that one last year, I was with Detroit Tradecraft. A couple of other guys, conglomerate of different artists and creators. And we had our own table. And, I was only there for like a Sunday. And I was just kind of like disappointed that I missed the whole weekend. But needless to say, it was a good show for that Sunday. So I'm looking forward to all 3 days this year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As Urban Style Comics.
I'm actually debating whether or not just get a hotel down here for the weekend.
It's going to be rough. It's going to cost, I'm sure. It's going to cost. Trust me. Especially if you're trying to get a show at a hotel a room at this hotel right here, because that's directly across from the venue. Yeah.
I know a few of the vendors have hotel rooms booked here, and who can blame them? It's such a wonderful place.
Right.
Thank you, Foundation Hotel.
Yeah, thank you, former firehouse.
No, they really are. They really are amazing here. So, what's new in the world of comics? I know you said you have another comic about to come out.
Well, I have. This is my latest book. Like I said, Babylon Rising, the latest of Dreadlocks. I have the follow-up book to this. It's called The Return of Sir Madness. I just completed it yesterday. I got a lot of responses on the cover. I never really show a whole lot of work on the interior, but I got a lot of responses and, hands up, fingers up.
Nice. So that's the end of a storyline, or?
Actually, it's the start of one.
Okay.
Yes. Return of Sir Madness. Sir Madness is a character that I created when I first created Dreadlocks back in '93. And I haven't really done anything with him except for in an animated format. And I decided I would go ahead and put him back into the comic book format because a lot of individuals was asking about him, especially, those around here that's been following, Urban Style Comics since its inception. Right. A lot of individuals, they wondered when I was going to bring Sir Madness back. And I'll bring you back, but I'll bring you back a little bit different than he was back in those days.
20 years.
Yeah, actually, it's been a little more than 20 years. Yeah, closer to, you're looking at 30, closer to 30.
Is that bad when I look at the 90s? I'm like, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's real bad when you let time slip by you like that.
That's insane.
Gosh. So basically, I've been getting that ready. I'm currently working on a video game. It's not based on Dreadlocks. It's based on one of my other characters. Getting ready to get back into the animation mode again. It's several things that's on the plate right now that I'm doing.
Always busy.
Yes, that's the only way.
And you do this full time?
No, I wish. If I wish I did do it full time, I'll be okay then. I have individuals, online, they make comments or whatever and things of that nature, but I don't post a whole lot. I post just enough because my time restraints don't allow me to do that.
It's so hard to promote to a certain degree when you're like, yeah, I also have a life and
Exactly.
a day job,
Right.
and I'm moving a little bit slower than I
right.
did,
Or a lot slower, right? Some cases a lot slower, but it's all good because the fan base is still there, and I'm still gaining new fans.
That's fantastic.
So I don't have a problem with it. They're always waiting for the follow-up books, especially when it comes to Dreadlocks.
Right. And I have read a couple issues and of course seen the movie, and
Right. You have read it, or you
I
read half of it?
I have read at
Okay.
least one or two. It might have
Okay.
been a while, but I think I paid more attention to the art than actually read it.
Okay. All right.
That's sometimes my downfall.
Well, that's most comic book readers. That has always been our downfall, but
Yeah.
it's all good.
Oh man! So you're very active in the shows.
Mm-hmm.
You have more. You own the Urban Style Comics.
Right.
You own that. That's yours.
Yeah, that's all mine.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any other creators underneath that?
No,
label?
actually, we had at the beginning of, like I said, our inception. We had myself, Kevin Hallman, Rance Dixon. We had, a couple of individuals. It was about 4 of us, and individuals just started falling off or whatever. But Kevin Hallman, he's doing other things right now, but he's still in the process of writing his stories for Urban Style Comics for, when he comes back into the fold. Rance Dixon, he's doing his own thing right now, which I'm really, really proud of what he's doing. So Urban Style Comics just consists of basically right now Andre Batts Productions.
And of course, you do. You've already mentioned Black Age of Comics,
Right.
Detroit, which you are the head of the Detroit version.
Right, the Motor City Black
Yeah.
Age, right.
And now I was there a couple years ago. You had some fantastic panels going on.
I wish we would have got there last year. We had some good ones last year.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was even better. It seemed like it was more crowded at the panels than it was at the actual show. Let's go figure.
Yeah.
But needless to say, it was a good show last year. This year, I'm looking at it being even better. We had last year we had Michael Imhotep and brother named Keith Young did a panel on what was it called? It was Black Panther Decoded. Where we decoded different symbolisms and things of that nature in the movie Black Panther, and the actual reality of it all and the non-reality, the realism versus surrealism. Got into that, and the metaphysics and the mysticism behind certain characters and so on and so forth. It was a real good panel. They really, did a good job, those two brothers.
Yeah. How do you pick these panels? I mean, you have panels on film writing,
Right.
different styles of writing, and I remember just sitting down like, okay, I gotta take notes. Like, I'm here on a press pass. I'm really not supposed to be doing this, but I gotta take a couple notes.
What I usually do, like with the writing aspect, I have one of the individuals from Detroit Tradecraft, Oscar. We want to call him Oz Wilson. He's a real good screenwriter. I love his writing. I always like to get him to touch on screenwriting, because you never know. You may have artists that's there that are strictly concentrated on doing, films, not just comics.
Right. And you got to explore the craft.
Right.
If you're writing for comics, why not write for a book?
Exactly.
Why not write for a movie? And there's plenty of people that want to write for one thing.
Right.
Couldn't figure it, but they found a need for another thing, and so they just kind of went to a different venue.
Exactly.
You never know. Just keep exploring, keep doing things, and just
And
more
then-
hobbies.
right.
Why not?
And then we get the others that's just, comic book related. Get those out there to talk about writing for comics.
Yeah.
Victor Dandridge, he does a good job in how to create comics. You create. That's the name of his package is called You Create Comics with the number 8, and he does an excellent job. And so that's how I kind of like separate writing, even though it's all writing, but I separate the two so individuals will know exactly what they're looking for and, what type of writing style they're looking to get into. As far as artists concerned, we have Cam, Cam Reynolds, Cameron.
Oh yes, he's been on the show before as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, I need to get him back here.
Exactly. So he does a good job on his writing, not writing, but the art skills. He's a good writer too. But as far as the art skills, we go into that for the younger audience, and then we get other individuals like Mark Dudley. We get who else we have? Mark Dudley. We have so many different artists that'll step up and do that.
When I went to the show, I think I walked out with more names on my list of people I wanted to interview than any other show.
Well, that's a good thing.
I think that still stands, actually.
And they're still working.
Oh, man.
They're still putting that work in, so you need to contact them.
Well, I got a couple. I know there was a couple other people that fell through that I definitely need to recontact and or just go to the show again.
Right. Oh yeah, go to the show. You catch all of them.
I need to.
Yeah, you catch the whole Detroit trade craft.
Oh yeah, I think Cam. I don't remember if it was that show. It might have been. I know my nephew ran up with the cards like, you have to interview this guy.
Right.
I already know his music.
Okay.
You have to get him on the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have live performances as well. We have
yes.
Poetic Menace. He usually does his thing. We have the Brown Bomber. Cam.
Otto.
Yeah,
Cam,
Otto.
And Otto, who's also been on the show.
Right. He's a
Otto
DJ.
did, he DJ'd our 100th episode.
As a matter of fact, I think he's going to be DJing and playing live at the next Motor City Black Age.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that live performance all day long.
Yeah. And now it's called, let's get into that. Just I know we talked about it last time you were here, but I got to mention it. I definitely don't look like I belong to something that's called Motor City Black Age of Comics, but it is a fantastic time, and you do focus on black artists, and you did a great speech last time I asked you the question, but can you go into why?
Why the terms?
The terms, the focus.
Well, the focus is really the creators of colors due to the fact that, like, we brought up Michigan Comic Con, for instance. We'll throw out Motor City Comic Con, New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, so on and so forth. Most of these cons are what we call mainstream Comic Cons. We do those shows, meaning the different black artists and creators. We do those shows, but we represent a small percentage, and we really don't get the type of plugs that we should get at these shows, because you have a lot of, talented artists and creators behind the scene, and those that are actually out there. Like, you have your Larry Stroman, Dennis Cohen, Dwayne McDuffie when he was around, so on and so forth. These are people of color, but it's a small percentage of those. And at these shows that I do and I go to, and I don't really see no representation of us whatsoever. So I chose to create the Motor City Black Age of Comics, and use the term black due to the fact that this is a term that we use in the United States. We can use other terms like Moorish and so on and so forth.
I can't keep up. Anytime I use any of these terms, I feel like someone's going to yell at me and say I'm using the wrong term.
Exactly. So we just use the one universal term of black, which can mean anything. So for the most part, we know it means people of color, and it's the darkest hue for the most part. But anybody can come out and do the show. You could be Bill McCormick. We'll use him as an example. Bill McCormick, he's a Caucasian guy out of Chicago. He has characters of color. He come out to the show every year. He's one of the biggest supporters of the Motor City Black Age of Comics. He's Caucasian. He has characters of color. We have several individuals. You have, who else is that? Brian Germain, another guy. Good artist, good creator. He has colors of character. So we don't exclude anyone, that's not black. Unlike the one show that you brought up earlier, Afro Con or whatever that is.
Yeah, Afrofest Music Festival.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. So we encourage others to come, but it's mostly us as far as we want to just kind of flip the dynamics of when you come to the show. Instead of you seeing all Caucasians and one black person, now you may see all black people and 1 or 2 Caucasians.
Can you find Toad? Oh, was it? Can you find Toad and Will?
Oh, well, you know,
we
Toad and Will would be
loved it.
easy to find. Right.
It's a great show.
Right.
It really, I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe it.
Right.
There are a lot of shows I don't go to anymore.
Right.
I no longer do like 25 shows a year. And that's definitely a show that I look forward to, and I try to go. Can't always make it, which sucks, but I try to go.
Right, and that's what we don't really emphasize that, but we emphasize it because, like, say, for instance, in the city of Detroit, there aren't really any Comic-Cons in the city of Detroit. Just Michigan Comic-Con.
Just Michigan Comic-Con, which is new, which is
It's
still new
brand
here.
new.
Last year was the first year.
First year, right.
And you have a lot of cons that use the term Motor City. I'm not isolating one because there's like 6 different cons
exactly.
called Motor City. There's like 2 or 3 Comic-Cons, one particular, and then there's Steam Cons and different things.
But we know Motor City is the front of it all.
Yeah, and they're not in Detroit.
Right.
One's in Dearborn, one's in Romulus.
Exactly.
Novi is a super popular place to have. Motor City. Nightmares is there as well. But they're not in Detroit.
None are in Detroit.
And the biggest thing that bothers me are the ones that say we refuse to go to Detroit. It's one thing to say we're not big enough to really go to Kobo, or pricing wise or parking. Those are good arguments, and those I don't mind. But when you say no, I refuse to go down there. That's the issue.
The problem, right?
When you refuse to go down there, refuse to partner with anything to do.
It's Detroit. So that's kind of like one of the reasons why, it's been coined that way as far as Motor City Black Age Comics, because the population here is still pretty high as far as black is like 75 to 82%. So that being said, it should be something to represent us right in our area. In our geographic area.
And these are a lot of local artists.
Yeah.
Fantastic artists, music artists, and
we bring a few in from out of state. I wish it would be more coming in from out of state, but I'm good with what we have because we have so many people in Detroit and outside of Detroit, like, in other states like Ohio, Illinois, we've got people coming in from Chicago. These are neighboring places, so I would expect them to come out because they represent the same thing. And it's easier for them to get here because travel is not far at all. They can come out, and make it happen. And we love their presence, but I always love to promote, everyone that we have right here in Detroit. I love that because we have so many that's not getting the recognition elsewhere. They should get recognition in other places, but, I've been to these other places where, the recognition isn't the same. Like, I've been to New York or whatever, and it's so competitive in the sense of the different creators and writers, artists, whatever, and that's fine. But don't look at someone from Detroit sideways just because he coming in and he's getting all this, publicity from the people in New York, Philly, wherever I am, because it's all about your product.
People are jelly like that?
Yeah, well, New York, the thing about New York, I'm going to put them on blast real quick. They think they invent everything. You know what I mean? That's the thing. They think they invent everything. And no one can touch that but people from New York. It's so competitive. I guess they're real competitive due to, the different boroughs or whatever. But
Makes sense.
And when you come in from another state or smaller city, much smaller, and you're getting a lot of, recognition, and everyone wondering how you getting recognition in my city or my state. That's kind of like, the way I feel sometimes, but I do what I do. I've created this product a long time ago, and this product sells.
Right, and it does give credit to one of the sayings from Detroit is Detroit hustles harder.
Or Detroit versus everybody.
Detroit versus everyone. Detroit hustles harder.
Right. It's one in one way, both one and the same.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, when you walk down New York, you got a lot more people walking around the street. You walk around here, in the downtown area, there's still plenty of people, but it's nothing compared to downtown New York.
No.
You gotta bring a little bit higher of a game.
A whole lot higher. You gotta go correct when you go to New York. It's no need even going to New York, LA, or any of these places, and you go in there half-ass. You gotta go correct, professional, Everything has to be polished. Your online presence have already been known. I mean, people already know who you are, and that's what helps me a lot because I made sure all that was done prior to me stepping outside of Detroit, Michigan.
All right, before we go to Tony Reen, is there anything you wish I would ask?
I wish you would ask anything that's on your brain.
If I get one of those, anything else you'd like to promote?
Well, the main thing is, once again, the Motor City Black Age of Comics, which is coming June 13th, 2020, whole year away. It gives everyone the opportunity to get everything together. It's a $5 con. We have several panels going on. And, of course, I would like to promote, urbanstylecomics.com, urbanstylecomics.store, Rage on urbanstylecomics.com. That's for any T-shirts, gym shoes, things of that nature. And I would also
you got
like to
shoes.
Yes, I do.
I did see some pictures of the shoes. They look pretty cool. And, and your shirts. You always wear the shirts, and the shirts look amazing.
I just wore the shirts just for video purposes.
Aw, video version's different than the audio version. You could take a look at his shirt and be like, "Wow, Andre's a beautiful man."
We also have.
He's blushing. He's blushing.
No, I'm never blushing. I may smile hard, but never blush. We have popartgear.com. You can find Urban Style Comics T-shirts there as well. A good brother named Noah on there. He runs it, and we have several T-shirts there. T-shirt line. Also, like I said, you can go to urbanstylecomics.store, and I have all over T-shirts as well. So the main thing is, like I said, Motor City Black Age of Comics, and Urban Style Comics. Those are the main two things.
We are on DV Radio. If you want to be the first person to listen to the show, go to dvradio.net Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can jump in there and you can be in the chat room, and I will be in the chat room, and that's where the episode airs first. After that, then it goes to podcast a few days later. I mean, podcast goes on Monday nights, so it's almost a week in advance. And of course, that's DV Radio, which is part of this Dysfunctional Veterans huge, awesome thing. You should see what they're doing to Facebook since they got their main Facebook page shut down. That's a good Google and figure out what's going on. You will not regret looking that up. And they of course have a charity. They have a house that they house several homeless veterans, and they do rehabilitation there. They have horses on their farm. If you'd like to support them or find out more, of course, go ahead and Google DV Farm, and you can support them just by buying stuff on Amazon. You go to smile.amazon and choose them as your charity. Or I think everyone should just use smile.amazon anyway. If you're going to buy something from Amazon, use smile.amazon, and you could pick a charity of your choice. And of course, today I'm advocating DV Farm because, well, DV Radio is where we're syndicated, and we really appreciate them. Veteran owned, veteran ran. I'm a veteran.
I'm a veteran, right?
Andre's a veteran. Okay, so today on the Toad and Read segment, this article, I hope this is the right one I read. I went through, no, this is not the one I want. I was looking up some superhero lists, some comic book superhero lists, focusing on black characters, and I had a good list up here. We had some of the stuff that I actually haven't, several characters I've never heard of, which is always good.
Right.
Let me see. Is this what I want? This is from Comics Alliance, which I believe they're kind of mainstream. Maybe not super mainstream, but
they're mainstream.
Okay, they are mainstream. Okay. I haven't really been hardcore into comics since 2008, so I'm a little out of the loop.
Okay.
By 11 years.
Okay.
Okay, so this was written by Victoria Johnson in 2016, which I kind of do like reading some of the older lists when it comes to comic books because of the comic book movies. So
Right.
some, they tend to change them up when a new movie comes out. So it's interesting to see who they write about before that movie or TV show comes
Okay.
out. This is called 20 Great Black Comic Book Characters. And please integrate, and interject with your thoughts anywhere you feel like it. I'm mostly just going to read
on the characters or just in general.
in general.
Oh, okay.
This is still your time, far as I'm concerned.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm mostly just reading the highlights and bold parts. Okay, so it's a countdown list, and number 20 is Spawn. Of course, created by Todd McFarlane.
Oh, right. That's one of my favorite characters. I love Spawn. I haven't read Spawn in a while, but that's one of my favorites from back in the day.
Yeah, I love the video game. I grew up playing the video game. I want to say on Super Nintendo.
I even like the animation that they did on HBO some years
that was
ago.
beautiful.
Yes, that was
Very
one-
dark, but
oh,
very
yeah.
good.
It was real good. I like that.
I still don't mind the movie, which they're
The movie,
which they're-
right? Which
they're
they're
talking
doing,
about doing a
doing
review.
another one, right?
Okay.
Which I'm looking forward to that. The only thing
And
about
I don't mind John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo was good in that movie. I don't care what anyone says.
But I don't think he would be casted again. They're trying to find a whole new cast. The only thing that I really didn't care for as it relates to Spawn, but I understand the concept, is the fact that he had to be a mutilated looking character.
Yeah.
Being a black superhero at that time frame, which was the early 90s when it came out.
Right.
I didn't like the fact that he had to be mutilated as opposed to him looking normal.
Yeah, I found an issue with that. People are like, oh yeah, no, we have black superheroes here. Look at Spawn.
Right.
Yeah, you mean the
Exactly.
crispy critter over there?
Exactly. And I didn't like that right there. So that's the only downfall that I really have. One of them, anyway. Then you get into demonology.
Yeah, that's like saying, oh no, there's redheads around. Look at Sinead O'Connor,
Right.
which isn't a redhead.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Exactly.
For those way younger than us, she was a singer that was famous for shaving her head and making political statements. But yeah, so look at that bald girl over there. She's a natural redhead.
Right.
It doesn't.
And another thing is, it was like into demonology or whatever. Those were the two things that was the pitfall for me for Spawn.
Okay.
Other than that, I thought he was an exceptional character.
Yeah, and McFarlane really had something going for him.
Oh, yeah.
Still does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he started a whole line of action figures.
Right, he's probably on number 300 with Spawn now. Like you said, he started action figures. Which, speaking of that, I'm working on action figures now. Right,
fantastic.
For Dreadlocks, right.
Oh, Dreadlocks is really just a beautiful character, and the. And of course the dreadlocks totally stands up.
Of course.
And I still miss your dreadlocks.
Oh yeah, well they had to go.
Yeah.
They wouldn't if they would have still been looking like this right here. I'd have been good.
What's
with
wrong
that.
with the gray in them?
No, the gray is okay.
Okay.
But I'm saying the horseshoe thing is another thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So you've seen guys with locks, and at the top of their head they don't have locks up there. It's just a head with no grain, no hair up there. I want to avoid that.
Number 19 is Bumblebee. We're not talking about the Transformer. We're talking about from Teen Titans.
Okay, I'm not really familiar with him that much.
Okay, it is a female.
Oh, her?
Okay, yeah, I believe she. I know in the cartoons and stuff, she dates Cyborg.
Cyborg? Okay. Not really familiar with her much.
Okay.
Then that's a kind of corny name too, Bumblebee.
Yeah, she's kind of like a clone of the Wasp.
Oh, that's the Wasp. That's a corny name as well. I don't understand this. I don't understand how the mainstream really got away with some of these names. Ant-Man, Wasp, Spider-Man.
Ant-Man's never been a good name, but when you get down to what the character is, it sums it up. In fact, I thought Ant-Man was going to bomb just because of the name.
Yeah, I thought so as well, but it did pretty good. I really appreciated the movie. I thought it was pretty good. But no, I'm not familiar with Bumblebee. That's one of those that they kept under wraps.
Okay. Now, this character I'm not familiar with. If you want to go ahead and read that one, because I am going to butcher it. And
Go ahead, butcher Kamal Kogo.
Come on, Kogo.
Okay.
Now, is that one you're familiar with?
No, but I
Okay.
see the name of the title.
Does it say what comic book franchise they're from?
It's from, let's see, first appearance, Bitch Planet, created soon, Image Comics.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay. Oh, this is good. This is good though. We're both finding characters that we're unfamiliar with, and then we go
I may
to
have
one
stopped reading
that.
comic books then.
And now we have one that I believe we're both familiar with because she was in a recent movie.
Right.
Amanda Waller.
And Suicide Squad, I'm familiar with her.
That's kind of odd that she's on this list though.
Right, that's not a superhero.
No.
But you got to think about it. You know, when they portrayed us in some of these movies and books, our powers weren't really super anyway.
Right. And it does say comic book characters. It doesn't say superheroes.
Okay.
So
okay.
I mean, she is a very powerful character. And I mean, now I'm not the biggest Batman fan when they came
Right.
to the comics,
Mm-hmm.
but she's in several different cartoon series and, of
Right.
course, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she was fantastic in the Justice League cartoons. And then she even made an appearance, or no, there was an episode where they kind of epilogue the Batman Beyond series,
Okay.
and she was on it, and it was one of the best episodes of Justice League, even though it was really a Batman Beyond episode. It had
Okay.
the look and feel and everything of a Batman Beyond episode. It was one of the best episodes.
Yeah, they casted the same lady for the same role coming up in the Suicide 2.
But yeah, I heard that has a lot of reboot-ish stuff to it,
Okay.
yeah, James Gunn is directing that,
Okay.
I believe. Number 16, Adrian Ashi.
Man, not familiar. Ashe,
Okay.
not familiar with that.
First appearance, Priceless, 2011. So it's a newer one. Publishers Action Lab Entertainment, created by Jeremy Whitley. I don't want to just read everything here. She notes plot holes in fairy tales with happily ever afters.
See the type of characters we have.
Okay, so this. Okay, so she looks like she's like a medieval princess type.
Right.
This might be so they're talking about fairy tales. This might be following like all the big fairy tale trend. Might be
Well,
one of those.
that one in particular, but the others, they weren't. You know, like the Bumblebee. You know, that wasn't following a fairy tale.
No.
trend.
I mean, she was a bee, and I
Right.
believe there's another backstory and stuff to that as well.
It's
I don't know.
gotta
I
be.
think her costume looks good. Honestly, I don't think wearing bright yellow is a good
Right.
look for a superhero.
Right.
But the fact that she shrinks down, she looks like a bumblebee.
Like the Wasp.
Yeah, the WAP. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they both have wings,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
though still yellow is not a good color for stealth.
Not at all.
Oh man, I feel so bad. I don't want to butcher any names.
So you want me to call out the names?
Yeah, recall
Let's
this
see.
one. I want to say it's Lunlal. They should have pronounced it. See,
Lunella?
I'm not the only one though. I'm not the only one.
No,
We will
that's-
fail together.
No, not together. I want to help you out here.
Okay.
Unella Lafayette. I'm not familiar with her. I guess she appeared in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Double Dinosaur. I have heard of that. I don't know anything
It's,
about it. But
Marvel Comics.
okay.
You have, let's see.
Were you
Moon
familiar
Girl.
with her?
No, this is
Okay.
more recent. You know, I have seen her before, but it's more recent.
Okay.
And of course, we have Misty Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we love her because you know who created her. You know, she was created by, you know, one of my favorite individuals, Arvell Jones.
I did not know that.
Co-created by him.
Wow.
Tony Isabella.
I did not
and
know that.
Ross Andrew.
I'll have to start bringing some of my old comics up because I know he's had a good amount of shows around there. I got it.
Yeah, you ever thought about getting him on your show?
I should try.
Yeah, you should try it. Arvell is a real good person.
I didn't realize that
Real good
I
people.
see him around. I just never really thought of him as local.
Yeah, he's local.
I don't know why.
See, that's
I
a prime example.
I gotta get him on here.
That's a prime
I
example.
Oh man, Misty Mills is amazing.
Not
Misty.
Misty Knight.
Misty Mills is amazing too. But Misty Mills did the voice for the intro beginning of this. Misty Knight is amazing.
Now that's a prime example of someone being from Detroit creating someone on this level, Misty Knight.
Yeah, she took over for Iron Man. She took over for I love the run of Heroes for Hire where she's in charge. Luke Cage isn't there.
Right.
Iron Fist isn't there. It's her squad. And
That's a good thing.
my one. If one of my favorites, not my favorite run of Heroes for Hire.
Okay. Then we have who else we have? Vixen. Are you familiar with Vixen?
Oh yeah, I'm not a big DC fan, but
Yeah, she was on the Arrow a couple of seasons
she's been
ago.
on Arrow. She's been on Legends. She's on the Arrowverse. All those TV. She does very good. She was also in cartoon format on Justice League. She was on Justice League. She was also on Batman Brave and the Bold, I believe.
Okay.
So she's relevant.
Yeah, and she's got some nice powers too. We have who else? We have Joseph Robertson. He was in the Marvel universe.
Okay, what's his superhero name or
he
nickname?
wasn't a superhero. He was part of what's it, James Jameson. He was part of the news.
Okay. Okay. I know what you're talking about now. I never really see. I have
J.
read
Jonah
Spider-Man,
Jameson.
but he wasn't in a whole lot of issues I read, but he was definitely in several of the cartoons.
He was in a lot of the actual comics as well. I remember him from if you look at the artwork tells how long he's been around.
Oh yeah. I think the one thing is when I was reading Spider-Man, he was no longer working so much for the day. He was a teacher at a high school at that point.
We have Static.
Oh yeah, Static came up real fast, and he got a big boost, and all deserving.
Yeah, what Dwayne McDuffie and Dennis Cowan created. Static as well as Derek Dingle, Mike Davis.
Yeah, that when that cartoon came out, people, there was a huge portion that were just like, that's the cartoon I watch.
Okay.
They're like, we liked Sonic, and now Sonic's gone, and now we have this. Hi, everybody.
I think they need to do a movie on Static Shock. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. I hope they do too.
Yeah. You got Gwendolyn Saga, Gwendolyn from Image Comics.
Okay. I don't read too many Image comics.
Me either.
So.
Miles Morales. Enter the Spider-Verse.
And this was done in 2016 before Enter the Spider-Verse.
I just
he took
seen
over
that.
for. I haven't yet seen it. It's on Netflix now, so
yeah,
I
it's
will
good.
see it.
It's good. I want to watch it again. It's really good. I appreciated it.
Yeah, he took over for Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe, which, funny enough, Spider-Man was the first character in the Marvel's Ultimate Universe. But yeah, he vastly became a very popular character and gave Spider-Man kind of,
Run for its money.
He became Spider-Man.
Right, exactly. We have Blade number 8.
Oh man,
that's everybody's
one of my
favorite.
nephew's favorite character. He was Blade for Halloween for I want to say like 4 years in a row. Yeah.
Now a lot of people feel that Blade actually, paved the way for Marvel Comics. Because prior to that, the movies they were doing prior were really trash. And then all of a sudden, Blade came out, and Blade just flipped the switch on greatness at that point.
I can't think of a single Marvel movie that came out before Blade. I mean, I could think of that was
they had movies
as fantastic and received. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll sit down and watch Howard the Duck any day
right.
of the week. Also,
They need to redo it.
and also Dolph Lundgren's Punisher. I'll watch that too. I'm not saying they're great movies though.
Right. But Blade, that's when everything flipped for him.
Right. And all the Captain America movies before were garbage.
Terrible. You have Michonne, from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, she's she was a really good character. She didn't really talk a whole lot in the comics for a long time.
But now she's talking too much, but 'cause I still read the graphic novels. So.
I stopped reading comics for a while back. Well, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, now she's talking too much, so.
Aw.
Number 6, Cyborg. Did I do? Oh, I did 7. 7 was Michonne.
Yes.
Cyborg, we're all familiar with Cyborg.
Yep. He's in, and they elevated him. Now in the cinematic universe, he's a founding member of Justice League. Although he did lack a character.
We have Storm, of course. That's a favorite.
Yeah, I feel like that's
number 5.
I feel that's a give me.
Of course.
But Storm's amazing.
Of course.
And you can't have. I'm sure T'Challa's probably on there too, because you can't have Storm without T'Challa.
No, you can't. We have Sam Wilson, which is number 4. The new Captain America.
Yep, the Falcon, and he was a good fit to become Captain America.
I think so.
Yeah, way better choice than Bucky for sure.
Oh yeah, that name Bucky itself. Yeah, I'm John Stewart. You know who that is? Green Lantern.
Yeah. Marine Corps.
Of course.
Marine Corps veteran. Green Lantern.
And he's number 3. And then we have Luke Cage. The original hero for hire.
I know. And the list I was looking at before, that was a character that wasn't on. I was really surprised. It was like 20 of the dopest black comic book superheroes, and Luke Cage wasn't on it, and I couldn't figure out why.
No.
Power Man, Luke Cage. He is a phenomenal character. I mean, come on. Nick Cage named himself after him.
Right.
And we're talking about when did Nick Cage start acting? Like early 80s or late 70s? And, he didn't want to use the name Fort Coppola because he wanted to make it on his own.
Okay.
And he changed his name to Cage after Luke Cage, which was only known as Power Man at that point, I believe.
Back then, he was Power Man. He became Power Man after a few issues of Hero for Hire. That's when he eventually became Power Man. And that's when you had Power Man and Iron Fist books coming out. I have a couple of the original books from back in the day, the Hero for Hire, the first one.
Nice.
We know number 1 is Black Panther.
Yeah. Wait, Black Panther wasn't on that list, was it?
No, he's on the one that you just showed me. Your screen went out.
Okay.
Yeah, he was number 1 on it.
Oh, he was number 1. Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Now, the thing about that list or whatever, once again, the reason why I do what I do, meaning with Dreadlocks and Motor City Black Age of Comics, you're looking at independents being able to make their voice being heard. We know that Marvel and DC, Image Comics, whatever, those are mainstream comic book companies that have created these characters. They're not really people of color that actually created them. But in the Motor City Black Age of Comics, East Coast Black Age of Comics, ChemFest, you got all original creators creating characters of color, black characters, Hispanic characters, whatever, even Caucasian characters. We have these characters we also have created. But the thing is, when you're looking at top 20 characters or top 50 characters, you're going to always see something that Marvel, DC, and Image, or even Dark Horse have done. Like Bumblebee. Who was that? Never even heard of it until you pointed it out in there. But it's,
Bumblebee's more popular than you think.
Yeah,
sure.
Probably so, but it's popular in the mainstream type of thing.
Right.
But we have guys that's doing some hell of a characters out here that's not even on a list like that.
Right, and of course support your local artists because you're gonna find
exactly.
You're not.
And I'm gonna tie another one in. And now we had 20 characters that you and I had just read off of. One character that wasn't on there that should have been on there, and it was not really It was mainstream, but it was distributed by DC. They had one of the characters on there distributed by DC, which was Static Shock, What was the other black character that they didn't have on there?
You're talking about
Icon.
Okay, Icon. Okay, I thought you were
Icon
going to go
should have been on there.
with Lightning.
Black Lightning
Yeah.
could have been on there. You know,
Oh,
but
we could go on, but they
Yeah,
only
go
have
on and on.
And
Right.
the other lists I looked through did have Black Lightning. I did
Right.
not see Icon in any of the other lists that I scanned through.
yeah, Icon should always be on every list of top 20 superheroes in general.
Yeah.
But like I said, Icon, like I said, that's one of the doper characters that they've created. I felt that he should have been on that list since they're using most of their characters. And most people that read comic books, most of the time, they tend to gravitate to Marvel, DC, Image, and that's it, because that's all they
Easily
know.
found,
Easily found, right?
And you could recycle it in pop culture.
Exactly. Because if you go on there looking up black superheroes or whatever, you're gonna rarely find other superheroes on there of independence. You know, Dreadlocks is on there. I do know that because I'm always, Googling to see what's online and where I stand. Because to me personally, once you're able to be found on the internet like that without anybody punching up your name, then
Yeah, and Dreadlocks, if you Google Dreadlocks, he will show up.
yeah, and even if you Google black superheroes, he'll show up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more amazed about the word Dreadlocks because if you Google Toad, you're not expecting to see a person.
You're gonna
If I
see a
Google
toad.
the name Dreadlocks, I'm expected to see a bunch of hairstyles
Right.
and salons.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
expecting to see a superhero pop up. I'd be amazed if that's on the front page. That's that's really. I think it's braggable.
I'm very humble when it comes to my creations or whatever, but I think to me at that point, once someone's able to punch up, just a general phrase, black superheroes, and if you pop up in that phrase, then you've been doing some good things.
Absolutely.
And that's without them punching up the name Dreadlocks per se.
Right. It's discoverability.
Exactly. So the thing is, that's where you have to get your game up as far as other black creators out there. They have to make their presence known. They have to get out there and make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost the definition of SEO, search engine optimization.
Optimizing.
Thank you. Can't talk right now. Blah, 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 blah.
That's all. You know how it goes sometimes with us.
Please go ahead and promote yourself for the last time that as we wrap up.
You can catch me on urbanstylecomics.com. That's urbanstyle.com, or urbanstylecomics.store, or you can Facebook me, Andre Batts, Facebook Urban Style Comics. If you want to know more about the Black Age of Comic Con, you can go to MotorCityBlackAgeOfComics.com, or you can go to Facebook Motor City Black Age of Comics. You can also email me, MotorCityBlackAge2016@gmail.com. Or, like I say, you can Google my name, Andre Batts, and it'll give you all those different avenues of contacting me as it relates to Urban Style Comics products, Dreadlocks, Jihad AD, and Blackwatch, and Queen Nubia, and I'm working on some other stuff too as well. I'm not going to call all those out, but I'm working on.
And this has been Media Layer Sandwich. If you enjoyed this, please share with your friends. Go ahead and send it to people. There's people that would definitely appreciate this interview. Thank you for coming, of course. Again, you're always amazing. And
Yeah,
I
thanks for having
really
me.
need to get my butt out to another Black Age of Comics.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, the music. Not even the comics, the music. Just hanging out in the music room is really cool.
Right.
And a lot of fun. And if you don't know where to find Media Layer Sandwich, you go to MediaLayerSandwich.com. The video version is on YouTube. Or, of course, you just go to the website. Or you can just listen to it on pretty much any podcast app. If we are not on the podcast app that you use, please let me know, and I'll try to get us on there. But we are on Spotify, iTunes, Google, Podknife, Stitcher, Intune, or Tune Radio. I don't know. We're on a lot of podcast apps. And we're also on Facebook if you want to reach out and have a conversation. You can go to the Media Litter Sandwich group on there, or you can just follow the pages. Feel free to reach out to me, and you could reach out to my email at podcast@medialittersandwich.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And whatever you're working on right now, may the algorithms be in your favor.
Peace to the family.